everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to the channel. Today I am super excited to be sharing this build with you for a variety of reasons. First of all, it is my first actual build, not just an interior design redecoration of an apartment or a house. So I'm going to talk more on that in just a moment, but also I'm really excited about this build today because it is a festive community lot. And if you have the Get to Work expansion, this is actually a lot that your Sims can purchase and run as their own retail store, which I think is going to be super, super fun. So this is the Balsam Mills Christmas Tree Farm and Gift Shop. And as you can see here, I am just working on the outside. I'm starting in on the shop itself, and then I'm going to add in the tree farm and a hot chocolate stand and a fire pit that your Sims can roast marshmallows to make s'mores at, and all kinds of cute, fun, seasonal, wintry, Christmassy goodness. So the lot that I'm building on today is in Windenburg. It is the Dresden house lot. It is a 64 by 64 lot. And if your Sims want to purchase this lot to run as a business, it is 68,000 simoleons, slightly under actually. And there is a story behind this lot, which I am going to share with you. But like I said, this is my first actual build. I'm not really a builder in the game. I love to redecorate and do interior design, but I don't typically build buildings, even for my own games. So in all transparency, I was super self-conscious about recording me building something because I don't feel that I'm very good at it. So please be very gentle in the comments. I think it turned out really well for me and my skills, and hopefully you agree. You will be able to download this build from the gallery. It is available under my EA ID, which is Hyggehaven. That's Hyggehaven. And here's a question for all of you watching. Have you ever gone to a tree farm as well? Has this been part of your tradition? Have you ever gone and selected and cut your own tree? Please let me know in the comments below. I am curious and would love to know more about your traditions. But like I was saying at the beginning, this lot is actually inspired from a story. So my partner, when he was younger, his family had this really beautiful tradition of going to a local tree farm and choosing and cutting their own trees. Now this is something I think maybe many people do. I don't know if people still do it anymore. It's not something that was a tradition in my own family, but for his family, this is something that they did every year. And it wasn't even just his family. Apparently, there were a whole bunch of people in his neighborhood, other families with children similar ages, and they would all go together to the same tree farm, and somebody had a pickup truck and they'd all pile in, all of the kids would pile into whomever's vehicles, and they drive down to the tree farm, and of course all the children would run off into the farm itself to of course pick out the perfect tree. And of course once you find that tree, then somebody has to stay so you know which tree it is, and then the other children have to go off and find the adults and get an axe and cut it down and all of that, and bundle it all up. And I guess they would put all of the trees into this one person's pickup truck. And of course, as a child, you always know which tree is your tree. It's one of those magic things of being a child, I think. And you know, you take all the trees home and then have to pick out which one was yours that you selected at the lot, and take it home and get it all ready to put up. And I just think that that is such a wonderful memory, and it was something that I really wanted to bring into the game, so that you could have that experience, you know, even through your Sims. So that is what has inspired this lot. So I hope you really enjoyed that idea as much as I did. So you can see here that I have finished building the gift shop building, and I've put in a car park at the front with a bit of fencing. I've used fencing from the show live edit objects, just because it's a bit more run down and broken and rustic looking, and I thought that fit the vibe of this lot really well. And now I'm just filling in the back section, and this is the tree farm. And technically, I guess it should have been a bit more of a grid shape. I did talk with my partner and say, how much of a grid were the trees laid out in? And he said, yeah, it was a very rough grid, you know, like somebody would be walking, plant a tree, walk a little further, plant a tree. So not absolutely perfectly laid out, a little bit more organic. I haven't made my tree farm that structured of a grid, but I liked the way that it looked, and you know, your Sims can't actually go and cut down a tree anyway, so I figure, you know, the aesthetic works well enough. Also, you can see that I've added in the hot chocolate kiosk. So if you do visit the lot, just be aware that in order to get somebody to come and tend the kiosk, you do need to have your Sims pay, I believe it's 100 simoleons. But if you do that, then a worker comes like immediately and opens up the shop, and your Sims can buy and drink hot chocolate, which is awesome. I've also put in a little fire pit back there, so like I said, you can have your Sims roast marshmallows or hot dogs or whatever. And I have put, well, not yet, but I will in the future, put a little table out there with the little campers s'more kit, because that was super cute. And there's also an outdoor toilet area here, so if your Sims are outside, they don't have to walk all the way back into the gift shop in order to use the toilet, but there will be a toilet in there as well. So we're just getting some seating here around the fire pit. And I've put some picnic tables out so your Sims can sit there and enjoy their hot coffee, maybe have a little bit of chat. I'm also putting some hay bales around. These technically are seats, so your Sims might go and sit on those as well. And some of the stumps that I'm putting around, those are also considered a chair, so your Sims can sit on those as well. And I'm just adding some terrain paint in here. I am also very self-conscious about my use of terrain paint. I never feel like it turns out looking really well, but actually with this build, I was really pleased with how it turned out. But that's part of the reason why I am pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone and do some building, because I want to work on those skills, and this is a good opportunity to do that. So I feel like, at least with this build, the terrain paint worked really well, so I'm quite happy with that. And I'm just adding in some outdoor lighting here. I'm using a lot of items from the Outdoor Retreat expansion pack because it works really well with these sort of outdoor spaces and having that really rustic look. And these outdoor string lights that I'm using are from, I believe, the high school years pack from the Show Live Edit Objects menu. And I also put around some bushes out here in a minute. Here, I'm choosing some bushes, and I end up choosing these bushes, which I'm building in the summertime right now, even though this is a wintry lot, because I didn't want the snow to obscure my vision. So if you visit this lot during the spring or summer, there will be flowers on the bushes, but of course in the winter time, the bushes are going to be barren. And I'm not sure if in autumn they have flowers or if they're bare, but yeah, they'll look different at different times of the year. And you can see here I'm setting up the table with the little s'mores and some lanterns, popping in an outdoor bin. So there is an outdoor bin out here, it's just not next to the building with the gift shop in it. It's here by the hot chocolate stand. And I thought it'd be really cute to add this giant mascot from Outdoor Retreat as well. It's super cute, and I have never used it in a build because I don't usually build, and especially with community lots and things like that. So just decorating the outside front porch here. The tiny little trees on the porch are actually sized down trees that I used in the tree farm. And then for the pots, I've actually slightly sized down the trash bin barrels. So hopefully your Sims don't try and put trash in them, because I'm not sure if that will work, but I liked the look of it. And now we've moved on into the inside of the gift shop, and I'm just doing a small bathroom here. So if your guests need the toilet, or if you've bought this as a retail lot and your sim who is running it needs the toilet, there is a loo here that they can use. And now I'm working on laying out the interior, so you can see I've popped in a fireplace because, again, I think at winter time you want to feel all cozy, and I think a fireplace is a really great way to have that ambiance. And now I'm adding in some of the Christmas decorations. These are from like the holiday free download that we get every year, and I'm really curious to see what items we get this year. I was really sort of hoping that they might have released them before I was finished this build so I could include them, but unfortunately that hasn't happened so far. And actually, while I've been building this lot, it's made me realize that there are some Christmas kind of festive wintry holiday decorations that we don't have in the game, and I really wish that we did. I think one of the main ones, because I love adding plants to my builds, and I know I'm not the only one that loves adding plants, but we don't have any poinsettias. Not a single poinsettia, and I would love to have something like that in the game. And also having small little evergreens, like potted evergreens like this inside would be awesome as well. I also, by the way, absolutely adore these reindeer sculptures, and I remember my mom telling me a couple of years ago that she and a neighbor went to a place where you can get your Christmas trees, and they had outdoor Christmas decorations very similar to these log reindeer for sale outside, and so that's what made me think to add those in outside as well, and I think it turned out super, super cute. And I also love these wall decorations, and I didn't realize how many different variations they come in. I think I always just kind of use the first default one. So I really need to use the other color swatches more because they're super cute. Anyway, I decided to lay out the shop. So on one side you have like a Santa Father Christmas chair in the corner and a Christmas tree that I later decorate with a whole bunch of toys around it. So that's kind of more the child-focused half of the shop. And then on the other side of the shop, over where the fireplace is, that's where I have all of like the giftware items. So I have most of the furniture that I'm going to be using laid out right now, and I'm starting to pull out some decorations that are going to be placed around inside. So here you can see I'm starting to pull out some of the toys that are going around the Christmas tree on the children's side, and I'm also starting to pull out some decorations to use in the main part of the shop. I do add a thermostat because, of course, if you're going to be playing this in winter, your Sims are going to be feeling quite chilly, and I also add in a fire alarm over top of the fireplace, and there's also a fire prevention box on the back outside of the gift shop building because, of course, we do have the fire pit outside, and I don't know about in your games, but my Sims tend to have some difficulties with the fire pit catching fire, so that's kind of a necessity in my opinion. And here I'm just starting to decorate all of the surfaces. This little table here by the cash checkout register table, I thought would be really cute to kind of make it thematic. So there's a little tea stand with different teas that you can choose from, and a kettle and a cookie jar and the Dutch oven. So that's all kind of like thematic, and now I'm starting to work on the mantle. So I've got some of the smaller nutcrackers here and a couple of little globe lanterns and the Christmas cards here in case your Sims need to buy some Christmas cards, even though I realize they can't send them. And then I really love how these decorative plates turned out. I made one a little bit smaller and nestled them together, and I think they look super cute. And I also wanted to pull out a few lanterns, so we put one up top on the mantle here and a couple down on the floor. And you can see I've got the fire tools there as well. And just moving on to the rest of the tables. There were a lot of tables to decorate here, and honestly, I cut out all of the footage of me pulling out all of the decorations because I really don't feel that you need to watch me going through the catalog to do that. It's not really inspiring content, so I hope you don't mind that, and if you see suddenly a whole bunch of objects that have appeared out of nowhere, that's why. And right now I'm just putting a little train set here. I pulled out a whole bunch of little train set items because I think that's a very traditional Christmas item that you often see. So I thought that'd be really cute to add in under the tree. And you can also see I've pulled out some of the baskets with the blankets in them because just like with the fireplace, when I think winter and Christmas, I think cozying up under a nice blanket or a handmade quilt. And so I wanted to include those in the build as well as something that could be purchased. And here on the main table there are a selection of different Yule logs and also the really pretty tree-shaped menorah and some other just decorative items. And the same with this small table, there's just a bunch of little decorative items that you can choose from. And here we are over again at the children's section. Oh yeah, and I also added this gift from the live edit objects and a little bow on the register table because it's kind of like where they're wrapping the gifts that people have bought, which I thought was a super cute idea. But we're back to the children's section, and here I'm putting all of the toys that I've pulled out. They're mostly stuffed animal kind of toys, which I thought were super cute. So just tucking them down around the tree. And then over in the Santa corner, I love this chair from Cats and Dogs with the blanket on the back, and the fact that it's like this high wingback chair I think is just so regal to have a Santa character sitting in. And we put a little stool there and pop a little mug on. Maybe it is some hot chocolate that somebody's brought over for Santa from the hot chocolate stand. And then I just need to finish off this back wall here. I add in some ornaments that I think are kind of like tin wall ornaments and a little bit more garland. And finally, I add in a rug that is technically not a rug here in front of the register because it was feeling really open and I wanted something that wasn't cluttered. And I remembered that there's this awesome, in just a moment, this snowflake kind of, yeah, right there, like a floor mural. And I thought that was perfect. You can download the build from the gallery. My ID is Hyggehaven, Hyggehaven. And if you enjoyed the build, please go ahead and like the video, and why not subscribe while you're at it and turn on those notifications. And I will leave you with those screenshots. Have a lovely day.